up your engine. Toyota's quality is definitely slipping. Now, if you've been following me, this is the first new car I ever bought in my entire life, 2026 hybrid Camry. And although it is getting pretty good gas mileage, you can see so far it's averaging 47.2 miles per gallon. It is making a high-pitched whistling noise at over 40 miles an hour that I only noticed because I'm either in the driver's seat driving with the radio turned up loud or in the passenger seat, but my son came and visited from Rhode Island, so he wanted to drive, and I sat in the back seat. Once we got going, I heard a whistling noise coming from this door. Well, I just stuck my ear by the door and I could hear the noises coming from the back side here. The top backside. While I was driving, I put my hand in, and when I got up here, I could make the noise change. So I know there's an air leak here somewhere. Never had that with my other Toyotas unless they got in a wreck. They were either made in Japan or made in Canada. The Matrix was made in Cambridge, Ontario, and they did a pretty good job. But as you can see by the door, this one was made in the United States, in Kentucky. Now the noise is coming from here, and it came up here most. And as you can see, it's kind of a gap here, right? It's supposed to be flush. Here is the side that makes the noise. You can see there's this gap sticking out. But when we go to the other side that is not making noise, what do we see? We see there is no gap here. It's flush the whole way down. Part of the window, of course, goes up and down, and this is stationary. So this one was put in correctly. Passenger side was built correctly, doesn't make any noise. And as you can see here, there is a gap. So I tried pushing it in, but that doesn't work. Somehow something was made wrong. Either the molding was made wrong, it wasn't installed correctly. I'm not going to take this whole thing apart. You might break the glass. So it's off to the auto parts store. Now again, it's kind of insane that I have to do this, but hey, I don't like the noise. So I got this Permatex black rubber sealant. That's what you want, black rubber sealant. It doesn't crack, it remains flexible, and it'll last forever. And since no one's perfect, I got some denatured alcohol, so when I'm done, I can wipe any of the excess off. What I had to do is get one of these dental scrapers, and I'm opening it up more. So you can see there's a big gap in there, so I can squirt it in the gap, then I can put it back in. Just unscrew the cap, it's got a little puncture hole in it, and you can see it'll come out. Then with it pulled out here where the stupid gap is, I'm gonna stick some of this in. Not much working room, that's for sure. So it's gonna seal the whole thing. And we'll push on it hard. You can see it's sealed in now to cover the whole thing. We don't want a mess, so here comes the denatured alcohol. Put some on the rag, wipe it off. Of course, put it on the rag first. Now you know what, you gotta have the denatured alcohol ahead of time. You don't want it to dry too much. Now you wait about 2 hours for it to set. It takes 24 hours to totally dry, but it'll be set in 2 hours. Now that we waited a couple hours, let's take it for a spin, see if the noise is gone. Now we start her up. Doesn't make any noise because it's on the battery. And I like the backup camera. I gotta say that's the regular backup camera. And if you want wide angle to see everything like people coming, which I like better, you can get a much better view of what's behind you and the sides, because often people will sneak from one side or the other. You won't see them. And with the wide angle, you get a lot better view. And of course, I got the windows rolled up and the radio turned off, so we'll take it on the highway and see if the noise is gone. It isn't quite now, but we're not moving. Here we go down Tobacco Road, and we'll see if the noise is gone. Now you hear it at 40 miles an hour and up, so we'll stick the camera back here and speed up. And the noise is gone. So I fixed it, but I do have to say I'm kind of peed off that I had to do something like that on a brand new car. Now, I didn't expect them to road test the car at 50 miles an hour, but I did expect them to put the car together correctly, and in this case, they did not. Now, I filmed the noise earlier, and here's what it sounded like. And now, with that rubber sealant in the back, you can see it's not making all that noise anymore, but that's rather annoying. Buying a new car and having that, there's a lack of quality. Okay, so quality control. Well, another thing that kind of pees me off is it didn't come with a dash cam. I added this in. It only cost me 140 bucks, right? Very simple to add in. It offers an integrated dash cam you can mount here, and it says it goes into the wiring on the car here. But that itself was a lie, because I even went out and bought their kit, and it was relatively expensive. It was 300 something bucks. And then I took it apart, and there was no wiring harness there for it. So then I ordered a wiring harness that's supposed to plug in, but the wiring harness didn't plug into the wiring on this vehicle. So, not too good. You know, back in the day, the older Toyotas with fog lamps, they already had a hole for the fog lamp switch and a mounting hole on the dash for it, so you could just get an aftermarket one, put it on, easy peasy, right? They should care more about their customers that want to put things on and not pay too much for it. Let's face the facts. Why should you pay more money for something that doesn't even work as good? This particular dash cam I have does everything. G sensors, racks, 360 degrees, does all kinds of stuff. And it was like 150 bucks. And their basic one, it's not nearly as good. Read the reviews of it online and you'll see. Right? And kind of a stinker. They want to make you go back to them and pay extra, right? Because the ones they had on a lot, the Camrys, they had ones that had some of that stuff on it already, but the cars were $9,000 more than this one, right? I'm not paying $9 grand for stuff I can stick on myself. For example, those used to be like my son's Tundra with the lug nuts so somebody could steal them. And I went aftermarket and got this really cool solid steel locking system. As you can see here, it's called Rim Guard. They're made in Sweden. Now that company makes excellent custom-made locks for all kinds of cars. Fit this custom-made, you give them the information, they send you the exact one, the color that you need, everything. Now on the positive side, the adaptive cruise mode works phenomenally. It works beautifully. Even my wife, who is afraid of such technology, she finally admitted when we drove back from the Smoky Mountains that it was phenomenal. I gotta say, I wasn't tired when I got there driving there. It was phenomenal. I really enjoyed it. I gotta say that is pretty much perfection. It's a really good system and it works quite well. You don't have to worry when some swine pulls in front of you. It automatically brakes and slows down, and when it speeds up, and it's very easy to use. I gotta say, that I enjoy. Let's hope it lasts. Now, you might wonder what these buttons do. Do they do anything? Eco, normal, and sport. Well, they actually do, but it's not extremely aggressive like in some cars. You put them in sport modes, they go like bats out of you know what. Put them on eco mode, they're slower. What this basically does is change how the hybrid system is used by the car's computer. When you push eco mode, it softens the throttle response to accelerate more gently. It reduces engine power demand and can even tone down the air conditioning to save energy. It basically encourages a hybrid system to run most efficiently and use the electric motor smoothly. It's better for city driving, stop and go traffic, and getting the best miles per gallon gas mileage. You don't have to push the normal button unless you change it, because normal is default. You start it up, it starts in normal. And it gives you a balance of gas mileage versus power. So you don't lose much power. You get a little bit better gas mileage than if you put it in sport mode. Most people just leave it there, whether they're driving daily, stop and go traffic, or if they're on the highway. Now, if you're more of a driver, you might push it into sport mode. It sharpens the throttle response so it accelerates quicker, and in this car, it makes the steering feel a bit more responsive because electronic power steering, there's no power steering pump. So the computer can give you a little tighter steering if you really like cornering, you want real responsive feel of the road, you want to put it in sport mode. You're going in the hills, you want to accelerate fast, you want to merge onto the highway quicker, you might put it in sport mode when you're getting onto the highway, and then if you get in the hilly twisties, you might put it back in sport mode, so you'll have a little better control. If you want to get the best gas mileage possible, you can put it in eco mode and use the throttle down here. Oh look, it's got a racing pedal. Use it lightly. Don't floor it all the time. Use it lightly and you'll get a lot better gas mileage. And so far, at least, the system's working perfectly fine. Handling it a little bit better. It went in the Smoky Mountains fine in sports mode. You could really zoom around. Tires never squealed or anything. If you want something that's kind of funny, okay, I'm putting the car in reverse. All right, backup camera's on, but this car doesn't have a reverse gear. So how does it go backwards? Well, obviously it does go backwards. You look outside, it is going backwards. Well, it works like this under the hood. The electronics in the car reverse the polarity of the electric motor, and the electric motor makes the car go backwards. The transmission itself has no reverse gear. And of course, that does two things. It makes the car more efficient, it has less weight, the transmission is smaller, doesn't have a reverse gear, and that's one less thing that can go wrong with the transmission. Although, these are Toyota's e-CVT transmissions. They're not a regular CVT with bands and drums, and these things have been perfected ever since they started making Priuses. The early Priuses did have a problem where the electric motors would burn out, yes, but that was decades ago. They fixed that problem by using a cooling system of the transmission fluid to cool it so the motor doesn't overheat, and I don't see any of these motors burning out anymore. So that's not something that you really got to worry about. Unless they've changed the quality, and that only time will tell. Is Toyota quality starting to slip? Well, obviously it's starting to slip somewhat. Overall, it still seems to be an excellent vehicle. Only time will tell. It's a brand new car, 2026, so we will see how it lasts. But you know, that money for a new car, and it's got air noise like that, I expect it of a car that's been in a wreck, right? They get in a wreck, they'll often have a little air noise somewhere. That happened to our old Matrix. It was wrecked in the door and it whistled, and I had to figure out where the air was coming through, and then I sealed it up and the noise went away. But I don't expect that in a new car, you know? So Toyota, hey, you better start getting your act back in gear how it was years ago, because I even have a few customers that told me they're not going to buy another Toyota because they bought a brand new one this year and it was making noise when they were backing up, and they tried to fix it 6 times, they still didn't fix it. You can't just rest on your laurels these days. It's a very competitive world. And yes, they are slipping somewhat. And of course, as I showed, they want to sell you all these extras. All car manufacturers do that. Do like I did. Buy one that doesn't have the extras on. Put in what you want. It's going to cost you less. And sometimes, as in the case of the dash cam, this dash cam costs like 1/4 of what theirs did, and it's twice as good. So keep that in mind when you buy a car. And Toyota, if you're listening, hey, you better start getting back in shape. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.